I don't know if you guys listen to A Whole Lot of Red yet by Playboi Carti, but I just heard this one song and these 2 bars in it are so god awful. I literally can't believe that he put this out. Listen to this.
I done met different type of girls.
What the fuck?
I done been all across the world.
What the fuck? It literally sounds like a humpback whale. What is good, YouTube? Back at it again with the first tier list I've done in a while, because I just keep getting requests and requests to do it. So in this video, we're making a part 2 on ranking skateboard brands. First one I did pretty well, so I guess I missed a lot of brands. So this one that we're doing is all different brands, and yeah, just a lot more skateboarding. So before I get into that, I'm gonna play some random clips. I went street skating in DC. Forgot to bring this camera, so I filmed a bunch on my iPhone. So I got some of those clips. Made a little Insta edit, you should go check that out. I may have filmed some random clips, so if I did, I'll play those as well. And then we'll get right into this tier list. So the first brand I'm thinking about discussing today is probably gonna be Creature, because on my wall over here I have a Creature board hanging, and there was a bunch of people like, I see that Creature in the back and you didn't talk about it. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. The reason I didn't talk about it in the first video is because that's the only Creature I've ever had. So I don't have a lot of experience on it. But I will say that board was very good. It was a shaped board though, so the nose, I'll just get it real quick. The nose, you can see, very squared. It was a little pointed at the top. Look how chipped it is. That is disgusting. It was not a normal popsicle, so because I skate so much street, it felt a little weird, but it was very doable, and I could do pretty much all my tricks on it. I think it was a really fun board. It was pretty durable. I'm pretty sure the only reason it snapped is because I think I focused it, which I sometimes do when I'm nearing the end of the board's life and I'm like, well, it already skates pretty bad because I've got razor tail, so I'll snap it and I'll buy a new one. And I think that's probably what happened. And yeah, I'm gonna rank this board a very nice solid, because I think if I bought it again, I would like it. I also like the branding, and I like the graphics. It's good. Alright, up next we're gonna be talking about one of my up and coming favorites, which is Weekend. This one snapped on the nose. That was the board I skated the one and only time I went to New York City. I made a video with Danny Torres and George Poulos. I might link it in below. That was in March. So yeah, that was a great board. It skated very similar to a Quasi. If you watched the first video I made on tier list, you'll see that Quasi and a bunch of the PS Sticks distributed boards are always usually my favorite. I actually have a brand new one over there that I'm gonna set up when I'm done with the board I'm on now, which is a reel. So Quasi is always usually my number 1, but I'm not gonna talk about that in this video. This one skated very similar to it, and I think Weekend boards are a little bit easier to find. Quasi, you either have to go online or you have to get lucky and your local skate shop carries it. My local skate shop carries them, so they're very easy for me to find. Weekend has a similar sort of squared shape, decently average concave and average kicks, so the board skates very well. And even though I snapped it, it was a great board. And I'm pretty sure the owner of Weekend was an ex-filmer for Nike SB. So the brand itself is also pretty cool. And they make a bunch more cooler graphics than the one that was. Yeah, you should go check them out if you haven't already. Weekend, I'm gonna put at legendary. because everyone I've ever had has been good. I've had about 5 now. Alright, up next, I'm dipping way down. I'm already going to tell you, this one I ranked in the nah category because I wouldn't recommend it. That being said, it's still better than what would be a board from Walmart or Target, but I would never get both the brands that Zoomies has in store, which is I think Goodwood and Superior. They're both linked down here, but I think I only put the logo for Superior because I don't even think Goodwood has one. They're cheap boards, so they're easy to get if you're a beginner, and they're not terrible. I would never get them. Me. I've been skating for like 10 years though, that's a little different. Maybe if it's your first ever board and you have a Target or Walmart and you just need a little improvement, you might be able to get it. If you have been skating for a little bit, I would advise that you don't get one of these because they are very weak. They're not owned by someone who really skates. So it's not that good of a brand and they're not that good of boards. Nah. For me, the boards that I ranked in average were harder to choose than the boards that I ranked in nah, because average is like kind of a weird place to rank a board. So I'm gonna give the criteria for the boards that I put in here. I put in there not because they're bad boards, but because I personally don't like the branding, or I don't like the team, or I don't like the graphics or the shape. It's all personal preference. The boards I put in average, some of you might actually really like. I don't like some aspect of them, so I may not say why. They're not necessarily bad. And the first one that I'm gonna talk about is Element. There are 2 reasons why I don't like this brand. Number 1 is the shapes and graphics. Wait, that is 2 reasons. There's 3 reasons I don't like this brand. And the third one I'm not even gonna say. So, shapes and graphics, I don't really like them. The wood is okay. I think the first real skateboard I ever had was an Element Complete. So they're not bad. They'll get you where you need to go. But for me, they're average. Up next, I'm ranking a brand entirely because of the things that I like about the brand over I've never owned it. I haven't even owned a t-shirt by them because they just started making boards like 2 weeks ago, like last week, and that's a legal sieve. So if you have not watched the GODSPEED video by Devontae Jolly, I highly recommend it. That video was great. Alex Midler has been, I think he was the first skater I ever like idolized as a child. And he was on Real, then he was on Sovereign, and then he just went pro for Illegal Civ. I've loved Real, and the Sovereign board that I had, which he actually gave to me in 2016. Skated great. Illegal Civ boards are definitely solid. The only reason I can't put them in Legendary is because I've never had one. If any of you get them, maybe comment below like this board was great or his board was way worse than I thought it was gonna be. Probably won't, but that board is at least solid. Also, their clothes are 5. Their fit, they'll up your fit game. I love this, one of my new like up and coming brands. Like, I fucking love this brand. Alright, up next is a brand that in the first skateboard ranking video, I ranked them as solid. All I really want to do is move them from solid to legendary. That brand is Crooked. So Crooked is distributed by Deluxe, which if you go on the Deluxe page, every brand that they're affiliated with, like Real, Anti-Hero, Spitfire, like all these brands, I love them all. So with Crooked, I could move all those brands also up to legendary, but Crooked right now I see starting to trend more than it ever really has. So for the branding reason and also their quality of wood and the fact that I love pretty much every Deluxe board, I'm moving them up to legendary, where they probably should have been this whole time. Alright, now I'm gonna be talking about the brand Zero, which I think I've had 2 Zero boards. Zero, the boards have been great. They've been awesome, whatever. Dylan Jeb is on them, and this guy is so insanely good and consistent at skating. I literally, I can't even comprehend how he does what he does. If he can skate that board that well, I don't even really care what my opinions are. But because I've only had 2 and because they didn't really stand out to me, I'm gonna put them at solid, but I would recommend them for sure. A bunch of people are commenting, what about 0? Well, they're at least solid for me, for my opinion. All right, the second average brand, DGK. That's all I really gotta say. All right, but the reason I don't really like DGK is because I never really liked the branding that they associate themselves with. And they kind of fell off, I think, because of the whole like Steven Fernandez situation. If you want to figure out what happened with that, Google it or something. But he pretty much brought the company down with them. I haven't seen a DGK board in so long. Like, I don't see anyone skate these anymore. Not to say that the wood is bad, I just don't really like the brand.
He ain't dirty, he ain't ghetto, and he definitely ain't no kid. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
This next brand you may have never heard of. I did make a video on it in the past. I think it was titled The Best Brand You've Never Heard Of, and that was Snack. So, I think I said this earlier in the video. Every board company pretty much has a distributor that they go through. And Deluxe makes all those brands like Real Anti-Hero, whatever. PS Sticks makes like Quasis and maybe GX1000, I don't even remember. But they also make this brand Snack. And the Snack that I tried is basically exactly the same as a Quasi, just with different branding. So this board is by default a legendary. If you ever see one and it's in your size, maybe try it out because I loved it. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on this next brand before I started filming for this video, which is Kryptonics. And in 2021, I would say this brand is definitely down at the knob. I'm pretty sure they sell at either Walmart or Target, but in the past, they were the company that innovated urethane skateboard wheels. So somewhere in the past, Kryptonics was actually a very high quality, reputable skate brand. But somewhere along the line, they just started making garbage. So I don't know if they still make anything that's quality, but what I've seen has been the worst of the worst. So it has to be in today's society. Nah. Another OG company that I need to talk about is Powell Peralta, which is still awesome. They make great boards, they make the flight decks, which are super innovative. Honestly, one of the most well-adopted pieces of skateboard technology I've seen by the community in general, because most of the time when companies make like fiberglass boards or anything, people just don't buy them. Like skaters will just, they're so stubborn, they'll just stick to wood, and that's the way it's always been. So their ability to make this innovative product that people are actually buying, at least somewhat frequently, is pretty cool to see. And their longevity is awesome. Honestly, I maybe should have put them in legendary, but I put them in solid because I've never had one. So they are great. Also, their current team is stacked, so definitely check them out. They might actually be legendary, but for me, because I literally can't rank them off anything that I've tried, I'm gonna stick at solid. Now on to the last brand, ending this tier list with a bang, another legendary, Baker Skateboards. So Baker is one of the most trending brands ever. I hate that word trending, but yeah, everyone has always liked Baker pretty much since I started skateboarding. Reynolds is the man. Personally, I've only had a few Baker boards, but the ones that I've had have been really solid. I always have to get the ones that aren't mellow concave because I like a little bit more. So if I see the mellow concave sticker, I usually won't even buy the deck. So for me, I like every Baker except for the mellow versions. I know some people like that, I kind of don't, but they make awesome graphics. Their brand is 100% about skateboarding. Their videos are fantastic. Some of the best skaters of all time have been a part of this team. So Baker is an easy legendary. This is probably gonna have to be the last skateboard brand tier list that I make, just because I think I kind of ran out of brands to fill up one of those things again. So maybe if I missed a brand, which I don't know if I did in the past 2 videos, comment below and I'll just have to reply to it or something if I like it or not. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. And thanks for always subscribing and being fantastic. I love you guys. You've been like so cool lately. I think I got 400 something subscribers in the past week, which this time last year I was getting 100 subscribers in a month. So I'm pretty hyped right now. I think this year's gonna be big. I'm calling it now. All right, peace out, mates.